Alrighty, so the first thing I kind of want to discuss in this group lesson here, and we'll save the questions for the very end, is balance, right? How do I balance my life given everything I have going on? How am I able to accomplish? A lot of you guys are like, how can you guys do so much with such a little team? We don't have that many guys that work for us. I think we have a team of five of us now. And we get a lot done. So how do we get a lot done? But how do we balance it? You guys saw that we were able to go golfing yesterday on a Monday at around 5 p.m. I think our tea time was. Had a lot of fun. Yes, I beat Dagan. Yes, he owes me money. That's besides the point. So um, I think the first topic of discussion was health, and I really want to go into the health aspect. Am I a fitness coach or professional? Absolutely not. But I'm a human being, and I understand the fitness realm a decent amount. Done a lot of studying there. And one thing I will say is, especially in the morning, working out helped immensely. Not just in trading, but life balance in general. I was able to get it out of the way before 90% of America even wakes up in the morning. So really good feeling of accomplishment for the day. I'm now high energy, high strung because I did that and I released certain endorphins, and now I'm more energetic throughout the day. Obviously, pre-workout helps, but health in a variety of areas. What you eat, but really, I want to emphasize the working out aspect. And the reason I brought this up is I had a gentleman come up to me and he said, "Well, I just don't have time," and that's bullcrap. Everyone has time to work out and to get healthy and get fit. I was able to clock in almost 100 hours a week working between my construction, working out, and trying to build profit chasers full time and trying to trade full time. And I still got 6 hours of sleep. Not saying you have to get 6 hours of sleep, but the simple fact that if you do not have enough time to work out, you need to alleviate some things in your life, things that are not healthy, because working out is healthy. And you can say, "Oh yeah, I work a job where I'm, running around stocking shelves." Listen, I was the youngest guy in my construction crew. I did the most running and carrying out of anyone there, and I still found time, and I emphasized working out. That doesn't mean you have to go lift 315 pound bench or whatever, but simply getting your foot in the door, working out, you can get an effective workout in 30 to 45 minutes. You can create time for that. You will have time for that. And the excuse I get is a lot too. Is I have a family, I have kids, I have a wife, I have to look after, I have to watch. And my counterpart to that would be, if you want to be there for them, be there for them in the long term as well. You need to focus on the health and the longevity of your life. If you are slapping McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then rushing home and then sitting home on a couch watching your kids all day, yes, you're going to be there for them, but long term, you're going to minimize the amount of time you're going to have with them. You're going to minimize the amount of time you're going to have growing up watching them grow into the humans they want to be. So I don't want to hear any excuses that they can't work out. We can provide workout plans, meal plans, anything you guys need for you. We're here for you. We have a great team of guys that do it full time, that actually go to college for sports medicine. We can help get you guys in the right path. But what I want to say is make sure you are focusing on your health, because that is a part of the balance. Now, a counterpart to that is you need to also make sure that you are trying to avoid burnout best of your abilities. I told you guys that I was able to do that much work out. I was engaged at the time. I was growing a business. I was working 60 hours a week. I wasn't getting that much sleep. But I burnt out after a few years. And that's where Dagan came in and he helped me a lot. Until October, I did profit chasers by myself, practically. And then he really stepped in around October timeframe. And he helped me kind of alleviate burnout, because I was burnt out. I was doing all of this at the time. I was a full-time trader, so it helped a lot. But doing that much work and not rewarding myself was not good at all. At the time, I thought it was the best thing I could do for me and for my business, because putting in that much work. By putting in that much work, I'm going to get an X amount return on investment on my time. My business is going to grow greater. And that's very well true. I'm a firm believer in working smarter and harder. However, the only problem with that is if you don't, you know, reward yourself. The way I avoid burnout is, first of all, I genuinely have a passion for what I do. Doesn't mean I like having meetings at 9 p.m. with Moo Moo on a weeknight, um, but I genuinely enjoy what I do. However, I take vacations 4 times a year. I have a vacation every quarter. I love traveling. I understand some of your guys' finances might not allow it, but that's where we're trying to help increase the amount of money you make so you could then take those trips. Another thing is I do something at least for myself every other day that I genuinely enjoy. If that is go golf 9 holes, if that is do something with my friends, if that is do something that I personally enjoy and that I actually have a fun time doing, that's going to help me with the burnout aspect. Problem is if you work too hard, eventually you hear all these gurus like I'm not trying to crap on David Goggins or a lot of these guys, and they're great guys. But one thing they would tell you is make sure you are doing something for yourself so you can avoid burnout. I went about 2 years doing that, year and a half, and I couldn't sustain it anymore. A life without free time and doing things you enjoy isn't worth living. So those of you guys who are kind of going through a struggle, trying to grind, trying to make your millions, one thing I'd say is make sure you take time for yourself to rejuvenate throughout the way. That's a guaranteed way to get rich. Now, obviously, keep track of the time you spend doing the things you enjoy. Doesn't mean go golf 18 holes at the nicest course every single day and get a cart and get a bunch of food, because that's a lot of money and it's a lot of time out of your day. However, it should only take hour and a half doing something you really do enjoy to help kind of balance your life. And this is coming from someone who, like I said, I worked every hour I could, slept 5 probably hours on average a night, um, with health conditions with my brain, and I still was able to make it work. So that's just from the bottom of my heart. I really think you guys should focus on doing something you enjoy. Another thing I want to talk about is reading. I know this is going to perk a lot of your ears up because I know a lot of you gentlemen and ladies probably hate reading as much as I did when I first got out of high school. I hated reading. I don't know if you guys read the premium watch list we send out at the end of the week on a Sunday night. I'd recommend reading it, staying in touch with Fed meetings, seeing what's happening with your favorite stocks. But outside of reading that, readers are leaders. The more you read, the more you're going to lead. And like I said, I do not want to hear excuses on I can't read, I don't have time to read, I don't know how to read. Well, I guess if you don't know how to read, that would be a pretty big burden. But I'm going to assume all of you guys are literate and know how to read. On the excuse agenda, a life built on excuses, on a foundation of excuses, is not a life worth living at all. I'm just going to tell you right now. No one in this world is going to have it for your excuses. So try to alleviate excuses. Try to figure out solutions to combat your problems. So back on the topic of reading, I don't go crazy CEO style. I don't read 100 books a month. I try to stay 1 to 2 books a month if I can. I also, every book I read, I write a 1 to 2 page thesis on everything I've learned that I can give you guys as well, so you guys can understand that. Obviously, you are not going to get the bulk of the information, but you're going to save a lot of time. It takes me anywhere from 3 to 10 hours to read these books. And if I can condense it down to 15, 20 minutes of reading, you're going to get the main points of the book, but you're also going to get 8 to 10 hours of your time back, which in my opinion, that's worth it. Another thing is, this is not a sponsorship. I wish it was, but Blinkist, it's a $100 a year app. It has access to almost every book out there, and it condenses the book in about 15 minutes or less so you can understand the key talking points of the book, the overall objective of the book, while getting your 8 to 10 hours back out of your day. However, I would still make it a point to read at least a few books every quarter. It's very healthy for your brain to read. And I still like having every book I've read, I buy a hard copy because I want to build a library and look at all the books I've read. Like I said, readers are leaders. Take time out of your day. If you are making an excuse that you do not have time to read and do not have time to work out, you need to change some unhealthy aspects of your life, because it's called balance. And if you guys all have time to hop on the Discord, you guys have time to read and work out. Like I said, you don't got to go crazy like me. You don't got to do crazy powerlifting, 3 hour, 2 hours a day. 6 a.m. in the morning. Um, but I understand that the hardest part about my day is waking up in the morning, seeing my wife and my baby, and having to leave them early in the morning to go to the gym. Because obviously, I want to stay home in the comfort of my home, get extra sleep. But if I want to be there for my child, be there for my wife, be there for my family in the long run, I have to be able to go out and work out. Um, Especially given the fact that I have a Blackstone and I eat a lot of junk food now. Anyway, that is really the key talking points I wanted to go over in this group lesson. Like I said, I want to condense it to about 15 minutes or less. I get they can get very long-winded, around 30 minutes, but I really wanted to do health, wealth, and life. So like I said, make sure you're doing things. Don't feel guilty for doing things for yourself, right? I used to feel super guilty when I was on that, grind all day, every day, no eat, no sleep, just work. I used to feel extremely guilty if I took a Sunday out of my week to and I wasn't at the office, wasn't recording lessons, wasn't studying on my stocks. I felt guilty, and that was a very unhealthy aspect of my life. I quite literally, if I wasn't in the office working, I felt guilty. And to be honest with you, I probably felt that way up until about last week, till Little River was born. There's still times on my day where I'm not in my office. I still feel partly guilty, and that's just the hardworking ethic I was instilled by my parents. But it can get to the negative side, and it can be very unhealthy for you. Working too much is indeed unhealthy. I understand working Saturdays. What I do is I work Sundays. I absolutely don't work unless I have to. There's a meeting I couldn't reschedule, or I took several days off in the week and I had to come in Sunday for half the day to work. But usually Sundays are rest days for me, and those are usually I usually don't work at all anymore. Used to. And then every other Saturday, I usually work the full day. So last Saturday I took off. This Saturday I'll work the whole day, or at least several hours. At least half the day. That way I can get ahead of my competition, get ahead of the game, get ready for next week. But that's just one thing that I am able to do to help balance. Another thing I do, and a problem I have, is when you are at the gym, be at the gym. When you're at work, be at work. When you're home with your kids, with your family, be at home with your kids and your family. Don't try to mix it. Don't work, at home. Don't send emails at home. Don't do all this extra stuff at home. When you're at the gym, don't look at stocks. When you're at work, don't think about the gym and think about home. Be in the present. Be where you're supposed to be. Block off time for everything else. That's how you have balance. So that's just one few things I learned in my journey of the past 20 years, going on 21 years. If you guys have any questions about anything I talked about, please let me know. All you have to do is raise your hand, or you can send it in the premium chat. Mr. Boss Trader, you were first. Bring you on stage.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, how's it going?
Crap.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I cannot hear you actually, so let me try and fix my audio and I'll get a question next.
Okay, cool. Zach, I'll bring him.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to say real quick that I loved what you were just saying. I think like everything is just that it was all great, but I got a quick question about the gym in the morning.
Mhm,
So I do that also. I'll wake up about like 5 o'clock and hit the gym. But
mhm,
I found that since like the little amount of sleep I'll get, I'll have trouble focusing. Just like
mhm.
just like zoning out, won't obtain the information. Like
Right.
I'll try to read and then like I'll be reading the words, but like
Yeah, I get what you
I just
mean.
yeah.
Yeah. So one thing is there's a book called the 5 a.m. Club, and it talks about getting up early, doing your high value work early in the morning, and then going out and working out midday to kind of separate your day, and then you are more energy focused towards the second half of your day. I do like that structure a lot. However, it does not work for me because my bulk of my work is from 9 a.m. in the morning till noon, and so taking that time off is indeed hard for me because that's usually when I'm doing content creation, things like that. But if your schedule allows it, I know high value gentlemen that I look up to, like Alex Hormozzi does that. Wakes up early. First 2 hours to 4 hours of his day are high value work, and then he goes and works out. Um, However, on the sleep aspect, um, prioritize your sleep. You are not being a macho man by not getting sleep. It is sleep is vitally important to everything. And some ways I'm able to combat this is simply trying to go to bed earlier. Like I said, I get about 6 hours of sleep a night, and if I'm up by 5 a.m., I have to be asleep by 11 a.m., which generally means phone is turned off by 8 p.m. and I'm in bed by 10. If you can figure out a way to go to sleep earlier, therefore being able to wake up earlier, that would help. But make sure you prioritize your sleep and how much sleep you actually need. Because trying to, I know the Arnold saying was like, "We'll just sleep a little faster." He was kidding. That wasn't. Hopefully, that wasn't real advice.
All right, Jason, thank you so much.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. I heard about that book also, the 5 a.m. Club.
Yeah, I
And
have a whole thesis written on it. If you guys want to read it.
oh yeah, that would be great. I was looking into reading that. I need to buy that book, but yeah, I think I'm all good. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, if your day allows it, that would be obviously ideal. Being able to wake up early, doing the bulk of your work, splitting up your day, going to the gym, then going and finishing work. At
Yeah,
but I just unfortunately, given my schedule and given what I do, it just doesn't really work for me. And I'm not really mad about it. I do really like my schedule. I like working out early in the morning. Um, because
I
the whole waking up and like getting right to work thing is just not is very hard for me.
yeah, I love working out. Like I like to like there'll be the days where I'm just like so excited to go hit the gym like early in the morning,
Hmm.
and there'll just be those days where I'm just like so down I just can't focus, and I just don't know why that is.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
I was thinking maybe the sleep factor, but
I
I'm not too
think I
sure.
think the sleep factor, but one thing I'd also know is your phones actually are a big reason why it's hard to focus. Think about the amount of information you get on your phone scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah,
You get anything right at the power of your fingertips, and that is very good. But there's a negative to every positive. And the reason why youth and the next generation is having trouble focusing, you hear like iPad kids. The reason why they have trouble focusing is because they simply cannot um, be in more the theta state of mind or like the deep thought of mind without having some sort of blue light screen in front of them. So one thing that helped me focus more was actually practicing trying to focus. I don't sit down and meditate, but reading is my form of meditation. And by kind of getting rid of your phone, like I said, my phone's usually turned off. Um, I on most days by 8 p.m. I do answer some messages later in the night if I'm working on my computer or something like that. But turning your phone off and actually not being on it 24/7, setting limits. I have limits on all of my social medias. Actually, well, now
yeah,
I hire someone that Corey Calvert or Lord Calvert. He does all of my social media. Um, but obviously that's not most of you guys can't do that, but setting limits on those apps, and putting your phone down more and enjoying life more, and you're gonna actually be able to focus more. And how I realized that was um, my brother-in-law, well, all my in-laws, they didn't get cell phones till 16 or 17, and I would take them hunting when they're 14 or 15. And I was like, wow, how can these kids just sit there and do absolutely nothing for several hours? Because nothing's in front of me, I'd be scrolling on my phone. And it's because they were not used to that growing up. My parents divorced when I was in kindergarten, so I had a phone by first grade. That was very bad for my focus. It was hard for me to focus growing up. And I'm not going to slap. I got ADHD or slap any of that. I'm not going to slap myself with pills. It's simply just because I had a problem having too much screen time. I love my Xbox. I love video games, and by putting that down, by reading more, by trying to actually focus on things more, that's the greatest way on fixing that problem. And it's not just sleep. I think it's a big aspect.
yeah. Yeah, I totally could relate to that too, because I like a week or two ago, I kind of like just came up with it in my head. I'm like, yeah, it's probably my phone or doing it, whatever, because I'm guilty of that. Like I'll
Hmm.
be scrolling on TikTok for just like just a while, and I won't even be thinking of it. Like just an hour's gone by, and I
Yeah.
haven't even realized it or whatever.
Yep.
So I kind of I set a like time limit on my phone, so I can only go on it a certain amount of time throughout the day.
Yep. Perfect. 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 Those of you guys who are in here, I also want to just let you know I did buy some AXSM right there. My order did get filled. I forgot I limit order place. But yeah, that is the biggest thing that helped me was actually turning that phone off. But cool.
Or,
Is there any we got okay, Boster, I think he's got his thing figured out now.
thank you so much, Jason.
You bet, buddy.
All right, Jason.
Hey, how's it going?
There we go. I can hear you now. Yeah, so I was listening to you talk about books in this group lesson. So do you have any good ones you would recommend from the Google Drive?
So those I haven't read a ton of those. Those are
Okay.
more trading oriented. I know trading in the
Okay.
zone is great. Um, but a lot of people ask me, we have those provided for you guys if you want them. Those of you who don't know, if you go to the premium resources and go down to the Google Drive, we have like 300 ebooks on trading. Those of you guys want extra reading. I personally, when it comes to reading, because I'm surrounded by trading and trading education all day, I don't want to go home and read anything about trading. Generally, it's more mindset and life and business and entrepreneurship oriented than than trading. So a lot of people ask me what books to read. I'm not the greatest person to ask because I've only read Trading in the Zone, and I quite honestly forgot what most of it was about. So, yeah,
Understood. Understood.
yeah, a lot of my
Um,
reading is life and entrepreneurship and
yeah.
motivation.
What was the name of that 5 a.m. book?
Oh, 5 a.m. Club. That's a good one. I do really enjoy
5
that
a.m.
one.
Club.
Yep.
Okay. Definitely. Well, I'll add those two to my list. Um, but that's all my questions.
Cool.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. So, top three books. Um, top three books for life in general. The ones that have helped me on my journey would be The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. 5 a.m. Club is great. $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozzi. Those of you who are into business. What are some other great ones? Think and Grow Rich is a good one. However, it's not my favorite, despite popular belief. Just because, yes, you can envision yourself gaining wealth, which is great. I like everyone. A lot of the gentlemen in my group were like, I never envisioned myself being a millionaire until then. And it's great to have those goals and not think they're a fleeting possibility. That they're actually it's very obtainable. But there's massive action that needs to happen before gaining millions. So I think Igor Rush is a decent one, but really the compound effect was great for me. Make Your Bed was a good one. I read several books, but yeah, those are the ones I'd recommend. Alrighty, y'all. It's about 25 minutes. The bulk of what I wanted to talk about was in the first 10 minutes. There's one more question. Oh, I didn't mean to invite you to that. My bad, Tomcat. Disregard that message. It damned you. Okay.
Hey again.
Hey,
Real quick, have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I didn't read The Rich Dad Poor Dad like Robert Kiyosaki, although I do definitely understand the outweighing your assets over liabilities. The problem is the way I structure my life is I'm so driven by security that I have very little liabilities, and 90% of my income goes right into assets. So his like formula he has uh, didn't really work in my life. I mean, it would have worked, but not how I structured my life. So I do definitely understand that aspect. But I grew up with parents were split, so single mom or single dad. Um, so I grew up on not spending much, having limited liabilities, having assets. And so I do understand. I think it's probably a good book. However, yeah, I have not read it personally, being honest. Remember, guys, now is your time. We are going a little bit over the mark, but I don't mind going extra minutes if you guys have extra questions. It doesn't have to be based on this lesson, but if you guys have questions, just now is the time.
Hey Jason, what's up? Just another quick question. So, I mean, it's not really about trading or anything, but I was just wondering what other things I could do to just pursue this whole journey, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm going to the gym consistently for months on months now,
Hmm.
and I'm just starting this trading thing about like two, maybe 2.5 months,
Okay,
and I've been reading consistently, but I wonder like what else could I add on to that?
good question. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want you to be honest with me in return. How is your friend group?
Oh my
Are they?
gosh, that's exactly what I've been working on too. Because the thing is, they're losers. Like they're not trying to do it.
I have this in recording, man. I'm gonna tell them you said they're losers.
They won't see this, but
Yeah.
anyway, they're like I try to push them like so hard. I'm like try to get them to come to the gym with me, just like at least 5 times out of the week or once a day, and they'll just make so many excuses about why they can't come, and
Like I said,
it just gets so old.
yeah, I agree. But like I said, you know, uh, building a life on a foundation of excuses is not a life worth living. Um,
Exactly.
and what I found with my quote unquote loser friends was once I started, when I first initially started, I was made fun of a lot, obviously. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, get back in line. You're dropping out of college, do this, do that. Like, why are you doing all this extra stuff? Just be normal. And I got all of that. I got the brunt of it. I obviously, was made fun of a decent amount. But what I did was once I started to actually see real gain and real change in my life, financially, mentally, spiritually, physically, they all were like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I need to hop on this. And the next thing you know, I have a group of all my friends I never would have thought in a million years, at least in high school, would have been into it. But I started a little mindset mastery group. And then that Mindset Mastery group grew into 45,000 Discord members that you're seeing right now. But what I was doing was I was meeting with these friends of mine, and we were actually discussing goals. We were writing down goals, keeping each other accountable. Accountability partners are great. We would discuss trading, and we would go over the trades we made in the week. We weren't that good at trading, so most were losers, but you get the point. So um, there's a lot of motivational speakers will say, show me your 5 friends you spend the most of your time with, and I'll show you your future. And that is 110% right, and I stand by that. And so make sure you're finding people that are way above you and are where you want to be at financially, mentally, spiritually, physically, and try to hang around them as much as possible. Understand that these millionaires or these bodybuilders are not going to just let you kind of be a fly on their crap, if you will, and let them bug you all the time. However, you need to try to be around them as much as possible. Find mentors and find friends who are of the same wavelength. And then eventually, your loser turd friends, they'll join you. And if they don't, then you definitely need to drop them. However, I would give them a little grace.
Yeah, I mean, like I try to like have a little consideration, like because I'm still only 17. So I mean, like they're just regular 17-year-olds. Like they're not trying to like pursue anything. They're just like going out and having fun and doing all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. And like I don't want to do that, if you know what I mean. Like I'm just trying to do this, like make the money, do all that.
Yep. Live a life
And
of fulfillment. Fulfillment.
yep.
Alrighty, well, I got.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah.
That's what I do, buddy. That's what I focus on.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, bro. Sorry, I'm full of questions today.
All good.
So, what if the majority of your friends, workmates, and your family? What do you do about that?
What'd you say? You broke
Okay,
up a
you
little bit.
said. I said you show me your five best friends, and I'll show you your future. What if your friends are your family and the people that you work with because that's all you're ever around?
I mean, that's not a terrible thing, but you need to be the person to help coach them up to speed. What I would say to that is, I worked on a crew of guys that had massive potty mouths and were honestly not really going anywhere, had no goals or ambitions, and that weighed on me a lot because when I would go home, I was depressed because they were depressed with life. It was hard to be around them consistently. So what you need to do is when you do have free time, and make that free time to spend it with people who are high energy, who have a high hopes and mindset, who are goal setters and who are goal achievers. Now, while you're doing that, you need to also make sure you are being the light to those ladies and gentlemen, to your family, to your friends, to your workplace, and kind of coaching them up to speed. But the problem with that aspect is if you do that all the time, it's hard to pour from an empty glass. If you're not constantly pouring back into your glass, eventually it's going to run out and you're going to just be frustrated. So the time that you do have, make sure you are going out there, and I mean you are taking the next step and you are joining these group lessons. You are asking questions, and hopefully we can be those guys for you to help kind of pour back into your cup. Um, However, just what I would do to those people is try to coach them up to speed. Ask them, hey, what are your goals? What are your 5-year goals? What are your 10-year goals? What are your quarterly goals? And things like that. So, where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in the future? And if it's like right here, sitting on a back porch, drinking a few beers, well, that's great if that's what you want. But hey, I want more. Let me tell you about my dreams. And if that's what, yeah, that's what I would say to that, if that helps.
Yeah, that definitely does help. So all I can say is hurry up and get your butt to Nashville.
Yeah, yep, true, true. But alrighty, guys, that's
Any,
going to conclude this group lesson. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions on this, ever, you guys are all group members. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. If you have, like I said, any questions about trading, life, health, wealth, anything you guys have, and you think I might be able to be answered for. Hey, Chris, I like your picture. Is that under your trail cam? A little doe action. Not quite the horns I'd like to see, but. Alright, guys. You have a good rest of your day. I'll catch you first thing tomorrow morning, 9:30 or 9:10 a.m. EST. Have a good day, guys.